All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Today, we're going to talk about FSD Beta 10.8, which came along with the holiday update. But now we're going to focus specifically on FSD Beta and what improvements it has to bear. All right, so stay tuned. Okay, jumping right in, full self-driving beta 10.8. Here are the release notes, obviously reminding you of the suspension and the sort of dings that you get if you allow the system to sort of kick you out or allow the system to warn you too much if you're doing the wrong thing at the wrong time and not monitoring the system, okay? So that's there. And then we also have the actual release notes themselves, which are effectively the details, the sort of the developer details that tell you what's improved, what's not. And again, you might not understand everything, but let's just make sure we go through them one by one. Improved object attribution network to reduce false cut-in slowdowns by 50% and lane assignment error by 19%. Improve photon to control vehicle response latency by 20% on average. Expanded use of regen braking and autopilot down to 0 miles per hour for smoother stops and improved energy efficiency. That's a big one. Previously, autopilot heavily relied on the brakes themselves versus leveraging regen braking to slow itself down gradually and then come to a complete stop. So this is a big one. Improved VRU, pedestrian, bicyclist, motorcycles, animals, lateral velocity error by 4.9% by adding more auto-labeled and simulated training examples to the dataset. Reduce false slowdowns for crossing objects by improved velocity estimates for objects at end of visibility. Reduce false slowdowns by adding geometric checks to cross-validate lane assignments of objects. Improve speed profile for unprotected left turns when visibility is low. Again, a big one. Unprotected left turns is a real weak spot for FSD Beta at the moment, putting people in danger, slowly crawling across the intersection and at potentially high speed intersections that could cause danger. So again, just improving that speed profile is going to help this a lot. Added more natural behavior to bias over bike lanes during right turns. So that's good for those areas that have lots of bike lanes. Improve comfort when yielding to jaywalkers by better modeling of stopping region with a soft and hard deadline. Those are soft and hard deadlines for when the car should start braking or when it should start to accelerate the rate of braking based on when it needs to come to a complete stop based on the calculated trajectory. All right. Improved smoothness for merge control with better modeling of merge point and ghost objects positioned at edge of visibility. Improved overall comfort by enforcing stricter lateral jerk bounds in trajectory optimizer. Pretty funny naming here. And then improve short deadline lane change through richer trajectory models. So this is the short deadline lane change, another weak spot where if you're coming up to a maneuver that requires you to make a turn, get into a certain lane, and then get over to a specific exit or other lane in a short amount of time, a short deadline, it would have a hard time struggling to do that. So this, again, hopefully improves that functionality going forward. Improved integration between lead vehicle overtake and lane change gap selection, which is also good. Update trajectory line visualization. That's also a big one, updating the line visualization. I talked about that in our initial V11 impressions video, but that's basically taking that dotted line, that's the path planner, or trajectory planner, and now making that a solid line as opposed to the dotted line, which is an improvement over the last one, and making it more aligned with the Navigate on Autopilot visuals where you have the blue solid line in the visual versus the dotted line. So this is good. Again, still needs to be a lane, in our opinion. The size, the width of the car, as opposed to just a little line coming out, can give better visibility into if the car is going to fit. Apply different rules and metrics around whether it can make a maneuver based on it crossing a line, crossing an edge, and then also give a greater visibility for actually making turns. So you can see exactly what lane you're going to be in better than trying to track a line through a lane at a given angle. So that's all things that we talked about and recommended. Hopefully Tesla can improve and make that in the near future, in the near build. All right. And then we have, again, FSD Beta improvements here. Again, just giving you the disclaimer of FSD Beta and giving you a description of it. It says use FSD Beta in limited beta only if you pay attention constant attention to the road, and be prepared to act immediately, especially around blind corners, crossing intersections, and in narrow driving situations. Okay, do not become complacent. So just doubling down. So this also marks the advent of when new beta testers, who I believe have 98 scores, are being added to the mix. So definitely be careful if this is your first beta that you have, first time being on the beta build. And if you're using FSD for the first time, definitely be careful, be cautious, be overly cautious. Don't be afraid to stop the vehicle sooner than later. And then just be safe. Just be safe. Use it where it makes sense, and don't just use it, as if it's a fully baked, fully fledged software that's not in beta. Otherwise, congratulations. All right. So other than that, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to take the same drive we did in our last FSD beta video. We did a FSD 10.6.1 demo. We're going to go that same path because 10.6.1, in our opinion, was the best build to date. Hopefully this doesn't disappoint. And we'll sort of go from here. I have a destination already set in. It's really, really quick one. Just a first impressions video, taking the sort of right turn, curvy roads, unmarked roads, and an unprotected left turn, and then going through some lights. We'll see how it does this time around, and we'll compare it in a future video to how it did to 10.6.1. So let's go ahead and get started. I've already got it engaged. I've also got the new improved adaptive damping to comfort mode when on autopilot. So that's already set. And then you see some of the new UI of version 11. Again, nothing drastic for people who've already had the new Model S or Model X, but majorly different probably for people who have the Model 3, Model Y, or Legacy Model S and X. But one of the things you see here is now, instead of saying end trip, it now just says cancel. So that's always a good thing. All right, so let's drop this down. Let's get our cameras up so we can see what's going on here. And then there's also a new visualization for navigate on autopilot, or I guess it's called full self-driving. I don't know what you want to call it at this point, but instead of being an actual textual button that says navigate on autopilot as part of your trip, it's now a visual button that shows sort of a highway and an off-ramp to suggest what navigate on autopilot is. Okay, fonts are a little punchier here as well. Colors are all there. We talked about in V11. So let's just jump right into it. I'm going to go ahead and put the car in gear. Swipe up here. Now we'll start to take the turn here, and then I will engage here. Okay, it's engaged. Going pretty fast. I'm going to slow down because it's going pretty fast, and my suspension is, I believe, at low.
Now turn right onto Harrison Avenue.
Now I'll engage. Okay. It's creeping up a little bit. Creeping. A little hesitant. I'm going to give it some juice to give it some confidence. The car let us go, and we're going. Okay, same stretch of road, same conditions, pretty light day. It doesn't know how to handle these little bumpers there, but it does kind of slow down a little bit in this build. It didn't do that in previous builds, so that's pretty good. Blinking yellow light. There's the new visual for the blue line. That's the path planner.
Turn right onto Llewellyn Road.
So far, it seems good and smooth. We're going to make this turn and see what happens. I don't like that. We're going over the white line to get into this, make this right turn. I don't like that at all. That's not good. Not what 10.6.1 did. Cyclist coming. Does a good job on the turn still. Avoided the cyclist. Makes this turn pretty aggressive and puts a turn signal on, which is odd. Little herky-jerky with the steering, not very smooth. Not as smooth as 10.6.1, I don't believe. But so far it's decent. I'm not going to say so far so good. I'm going to say so far decent. Not as confidence inspiring as 10.6.1. And I've had mixed results. I've heard people a little confused here. I've heard some people who said 10.6.1 isn't the greatest. I've heard some people like us that say 10.6.1 was actually the best. And we tend to agree. So it's sort of a mixed bag depending on the scenario. Here goes our unprotected left turn. Let's see what happens. Autopilot creeping forward, checking for visibility. Would love for some kind of chime or indicator or something. It's not moving at all. Cars are coming from the left. Still, it's not creeping at all. So I'm going to give it a little bit of acceleration to give it some ability to creep, or I'll just leave it. Let it do its thing. I'm leaving it. I'm not doing anything. My foot is off the pedal. It's going slow. It's confused. Now it makes the turn. Not good. Not good. A lot of hesitation. Steering left, right, then left. Not good. This seems like a little bit of a regression here for 10.8 versus 10.6.1. But again, I'll let it drive. I'll let it do its thing. I'll see how this is progressing. Reacted pretty poorly to that because that car wasn't even over the line. We're set to the limit here. And maybe over time, as we use it more, it calibrates differently and adjusts itself differently. I'm not sure, but right now this is a pretty poor showing in comparison to 10.6.1, which was phenomenal and rock solid in these types of conditions, minus a little bit of hesitation in that same unprotected left turn. There goes the icon that we were talking about for navigate on autopilot or / full self-driving. And then you also have the options to edit your waypoints and all that good stuff here as well from a UI perspective. But so far, I'm not really liking the regression here. The visualization is a little bit different. When it comes to a stop, it goes from being a solid blue line to an opaque or transparent blue line to indicate the level of the stopping distance that you have there, the stopping deadline, if you will. So that's also pretty cool to see how soon or how late that the car is going to stop. And here's that funky intersection we got to before where it sort of try to go over the car, try to squeeze between the car. That's not the case here. And as you see the blue line coming down to a complete stop to show you when it stops. Would love for it to just stop completely here. And then when the green light goes, it then extends and shows that it's going. So we know that it absolutely is going to stop, even though we know where it's going to go. This seems to be a wasted animation because it's just sort of flailing in the wind, thinking, calculating, but we're not really going anywhere right now. If it was completely cut off at the limit line, and then when it turned green, it extended forward to tell you where it's going to go, I think that would have been a more efficient use of the visuals here. Moving away from this car that's driving inappropriately down a single lane line, trying to cut me off. It reacted decent, but definitely not the good thing for that driver. Trying to maintain center in this one lane. This is not good. I'm going to boost up the speed just a little bit just because people are starting to come up behind me. All right, so down that same path, we effectively see, sort of the initial first impressions. And again, we're going to do some more deeper dives, some more detailed drives that will see what this is capable of. But right now, it seems a little bit of a regression here in terms of what it was doing on 10.6.1 versus now. I'm going to try that same sequence a couple of times off camera to see if it repeats it and is consistent. But so far, it seems like a bit of a regression. Let me know your thoughts on 10.8. Let me know if you got it. If it's your first time getting it, what do you think about it? Your first time being beta, what do you think about it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Until the next time, enjoy your day, enjoy your Tesla.